So here we go again, here we go again, here we go again. More taxes. Where was this one? In California, there's a thing called that billionaire tax. All right? But here's the problem. You could collect every penny from every billionaire and millionaire on planet Earth, it still won't work. Why? Because at the end of the day, the problem is the money is being wasted. $24 billion per year that California spend going towards homelessness and homeless related programs, right? And that's every year. That's enough. That's money to build hundreds of thousands of homes. And you could have either solve the problem and move on to something else. Talk about also the fact that they spend over $1 billion to expand and renovate a office building, a government building in Sacramento, and years later, project is still gone. The problem is wasting taxpayers' money and also wasting talent and abilities. That's where the focus should be on. That $24 billion, let's take, for example, homeless programs. That $24 billion that they spend on homeless programs could have easily been used to build hundreds of homes. You saw all the veterans in California, all the homeless people in California, with a nice house to live, so you can go get a job. They can live in the streets or get a decent a job, and also to they can also, if they need medical attention, can get medical attention while living somewhere else. Take another example. A few years ago, they spent $300 an hour paying people to just go out, through the tunnel line in San Francisco, counting homeless people. Ladies and gentlemen, the problem is government is wasting the money and become a gravy train for fat cats to make money instead of helping people. That's the problem. So all these billionaire tax programs and debt tax is nothing more than a way to avoid solving the problem. The problem is government waste. That just the $24 billion they spend on all these homeless programs, that's more than to build hundreds of homes to give everybody a nice little home for all the veterans and all the homeless people and all the people that need housing in California. And you can easily just then move on to other things. But no, if they need to keep the gravy train going. So every year they come up with all this nonsense, building shelters, it's a waste of money, and do all this stuff to waste money. Instead of just doing one thing, build housing and put people in housing, and also on this problem right there. Also, the issue of the debt tax. Well, here's the thing: people who work hard for what they have, why should they then turn around and give it away to some government? You work for what you have. You should have to pass down to you and your future generations without free, without government free of charge, without government harassing you and trying to always take it. The more money you give government, the more money government spends. Government should focus on things like, you know, infrastructure maintenance, public safety like police and fire and the military and other main stuff. And that's all this nonsense of just creating big fat, big bloody government to waste taxpayers' money, government all the ways to take money from people and it will never work. The more money you get government, the more money government will waste. What you need to do, find better ways to spend the money, solve problems, and stop finding ways to take away people's money. Also, again, too, people should not be paying taxes on properties that they own. It's basically a form of thievery. You own something, you shouldn't be paying taxes on something that you own. Once again, government should focus on solving problems and creating self-sufficiency as opposed to creating a dependent state. You know, take down a couple $1 billion, build housing, put people in housing. People have somewhere to live, and they have to worry about paying rent or paying, um, tax on the property that they already own. That's this. This is basically a way to take away people's property. So we should focus on having a government that spend the money wisely to solve a problem, not to keep the problem going year in, year out, just for them and the fat just income. So all these, the billionaire tax and property tax and debt tax, they're all scams. They're not going to work. They never had work. They never will work. So the focus should be taking that money and say, for example, build housing, put people in housing. People own their own house, and they shouldn't have to worry about paying property tax on it or rent on it. They should own their own home to live free and not be a slave to the state or the any individual. I believe the best way forward is to create self-sufficiency. People are free to enjoy life instead of to work like um work like a slave every day just to survive. This is not acceptable. That's my 2 cents. Thank you so much. Have a good day.